Molt breument, perquè la presentació del doctor Eisenberg podria durar una força estona. El doctor Eli Eisenberg és director general adjunt i cap d'administració d'una xarxa ORT d'Israel. És una xarxa de treball educativa on hi ha més de 100.000 alumnes, més de 700 treballadors, 7.000 treballadors, i on formen el 30% de les persones, dels tècnics científics, tant a nivell universitari com a nivell de formació professional. El doctor Eisenberg és consultor, a més, especialista en diversos sistemes educatius, és consultor de diversos països. Ahir sopant ens explicava, com a anècdota, ell és una persona molt humil, no reflexa la seva capacitat. Ahir sopant ens explicava que quan Nelson Mandela va sortir de la presó i va ser nomenat president, va guanyar les eleccions, va ser nomenat president de Sud-àfrica, doncs va rodejar-se de 8 experts internacionals. Un va ser ell. Va viure 4 anys a Johannesburg, però al cap d'una setmana d'estar a Sud-àfrica li va dir al doctor Mandela que no entenia per què ell estava allà, perquè ell ni era negre, ni era d'una altra cultura, d'una altra religió, i no ho entenia perquè havia de continuar allà. I Nelson Mandela li va contestar: tu estàs aquí perquè el teu cor està aquí. Això demostra el seu tarannà. Aquesta organització controla quasi tots els àmbits de la formació tècnica i científica, des de la mecatrònica, la biomedicina, seria llarguíssim d'explicar. M'agradaria ressaltar com nosaltres hem conegut el doctor Eisenberg. El vam conèixer físicament ahir a la tarda, ahir a les 6 de la tarda, quan ens vam trobar per primera vegada, tot l'equip. Però va ser una casualitat perquè nosaltres, recercant des dels serveis territorials, diguem-ne, documents de la Unió Europea, vàrem descobrir que el doctor Eisenberg i el seu equip havien guanyat el primer premi de la Unió Europea en emprenedoria l'any passat. I vam ser tan agosserats que li vam escriure un e-mail demanant-li de convidar-lo a aquesta setmana. I ens va contestar ràpidament que sí. I, per tant, aquí el tenim i esperem que puguem gaudir de la seva classe, de la seva lliçó, i que ens pugui servir, com ha dit el director dels serveis territorials, com a exemple i com a, diguem-ne, inici de nous projectes en la nostra tasca professional. Moltes gràcies, doctor Eisenberg. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to be invited by you, Nicola and Louis. And please feel free to interrupt whenever you would like, to ask questions. Can you hear me? Can you, translation, okay? And I hope you say good things about me. I don't know what you say, but I'm sure you did very good.
I expect after.
I would like to start by saying maybe an extreme statement. And the statement, as you can see on the transparent here, the schools of today, and I'm generally speaking, the schools of today, not just in Spain and Catalan, but also in Israel, in Europe, in America, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere in the world, are not relevant, are not meaningful to the students of today. The students of today, the ones who start at the age of 6, will finish their studying at the year of 2030. Can you tell me what will happen there? What will be the employment? What will be the professionalism? No, nobody knows. And therefore, we as educationalists, either in primary school or secondary school, or even in the university, are responsible for the education of our next generation, of our children. And you know, in Spain and in many other countries, that there is a mismatch between the graduates of the education system and what is required by the labor market. And I know although in Catalan, in Lleida, you are doing very well, about 11% of unemployment. In Spain, according to the information, I know that you have some 20% of unemployment. And you know that if you don't have employment, you have poverty, you have unsocial inclusion, you have violence, you have racism, you have everything. And therefore, it's our responsibility to prepare our graduates for the future and not just for the past. So I would like to concentrate on what have been changed. The schools of today are like they were, and again, I'm generalizing, as they were in the Industrial Revolution about 200 years ago. We still teach mathematics in the same way, literature, history, art, science, technology. These are the subjects that we teach all over the world. But today, you know and I know that we have to teach career development, time management. We at Oat Israel developed a course for students about time management. And what happened, that the teachers and the managers asked us also to give them the same course, how to manage your time. You wake up in the morning, and how do you schedule your time? And this is a subject which is not heard about. We are talking about parents. The family used to be a big family in the same place. The parents, the uncle, the aunts, the grandfather, grandmother, all together. But today, the families are separated. They go to other cities, even to other countries. And there is a need in our education system to teach, to educate how to be a good father, how to be a good mother. If you look at I put here some of the professionals which are already exist today. Cyber. I remember 4 years ago, cyber was a word that nobody knew about. Today, you know that if you don't have students, professionals in cyber, you could be in big problems. I'm talking about big data, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics. These are new. And the problem or the challenge of the education today is how to teach, how to update our new subjects. And I will give some examples how we should do it. Now, my argument is, and I'll talk about it later, that innovation and entrepreneurship skills are not just required skills, they are survival skills for our generation. Either you are an employer, like in wonderful company we saw yesterday, or you are even an employee. You work for other people. You work in a company, in an office. You should have innovative and entrepreneurial skills. You have to come to your boss, you have to come to your manager and say, I think it could be better, we could do it better, we could change, we can do it. In order to be survived, in order to survive in the labor market. Culture of excellence. Show me one successful person who is lazy. Elon Musk, Bill Gates. All these people work very, very hard. They work for excellence. And we see what we call the Z generation, the generation which is called Z, with computers, internet, and so on, and they think that everything is very easy. They don't have to put much effort because they see it on the television. Even the cooking is very fast. The baking is very fast. So it's a totally different view. We must change it. We have to educate our children, our students, our pupils, that they must work hard if they want to be successful. And therefore, I even thought about developing a course of excellence, how to be excellent. Because if you work hard, and I'm sure all of you know that for yourself and for your children, you can't just allow them to do whatever they want. They should have discipline and work hard. Lifelong learning. Everyone is talking about it. That professions are being changed every 4-5 years. I talked about cyber, big data, Internet of Things. Very, very, very new, innovative subjects. And we must teach, educate in a way that our students will know how to learn by themselves or as a team, what we call independent learning. Fortunately enough, my doctorate, which I did in 1979 in Israel and in England, was about independent learning. I did it in the Open University in Israel and the Open University of England in Milton Keynes. And from that time, we know that you must know how to learn by yourself and also how to learn as a team. And now I'm coming maybe to the most important thing. Nicola told you about President Mandela, that I was fortunate enough to be with him. He was my mentor in South Africa from 1992 to 1997, 5 years. And he said that we, as white people, are moving very, very fast with our brain. The brain is going very fast. But we, as white people, our heart is going very slowly. And because of that, he said, and he made this movement, we as a whole person are not a whole person because the brain is going fast, the heart is going slowly, and we are not a whole person while we are walking. Now, I thought a lot about what he said. If you look, for example, about the internet is just 25 years. It moved very, very fast. From mails, it went into social websites, it went to all the wonderful things that our students and we are doing. But we did not develop in education the ethics, how to use properly the internet. And our students, also in my network, are doing sometimes shaming in their websites. They are putting very ugly words there. And we even had a suicide child that students didn't like him. And it's like a knife. You can use a knife to put the butter on the bread, and you can use a knife to stab a person. So we cannot just teach content and skills. We also must educate with values. Values and technology must go together. I remember as a student at my university, the Israel Institute of Technology, we were asked as students in 1974 to design a channel which go from the north of the country to the south of the country, and what is running in the channel? Blood. So we got all the numbers, all the information about the blood. What is the pace, how it should go. And we all had to design the channel. But nobody of the students, nobody asked, why blood? Who needs it? Where is it coming from? So you can't just teach technology or vocational education. We also must teach ethics, legal regulations, and social attitude. And I must say that yesterday in the company, wonderful company, we could see how values going back to the community, giving back to the community is important as well as professionalism. It goes hand in hand. If your employee is happy, you'll get a lot of money. Money is not for money. Money is an instrument to make your life better, and this is how we should educate our children. Now about methodology. We teach today in silos, in boxes. Mathematics, English, it's silos. Sometimes we even have the same equation in electricity, in physics, and in mathematics. For example, the Ohm's law. The current is voltage divided by resistance. The same equation in mathematics. Y, X, or YX is equal Y divided by A. The students don't link these two. Or Hooke's law in mechatronics. They don't think that this is the same because it's different letters. We must show them that we don't teach in boxes. We have to teach them real-life situations and multi- and interdisciplinary subjects. And I will talk about it and give you some examples of curricula that we develop in our network. The teacher is not just a teacher, he should be a mentor, a tutor, teamwork, and I'm sure you heard about it quite a lot. You are going today to hear about project-based learning, PBL. In some countries, they call it project-based learning or problem-based learning or inquiry-based learning. I prefer to call it curiosity-based learning. Why? Because project could be from different kinds. It could be a very challenging project, and therefore it's fantastic, but it could be a very simple project that the teacher, instead of putting effort and making each year new projects, and it happened in our country also, he is repeating the same projects again and again. So the students are not stupid, they are copying the project from last year, from the 2 years before. Therefore, I insist to call it curiosity-based learning. When a baby is born, he starts to ask why, what, where, and as he grows up, he shuts his mouth. He doesn't ask because we don't encourage them to ask. But what makes us different from animals, from plants? Curiosity, creation. This is what makes us much better and making our life better, and we should do it again and again. So asking questions is very, very, very important. And we developed a course which is not just philosophy, it's philosophy in education. So it's not about lecturing. The teacher is sitting, he must not stand. He is sitting with his students and starting to ask questions. Now, if I ask Nikolai a question, and he gives me an answer, I don't say to him, your answer is correct or not correct. No. I ask Esther to tell me what does she think about Nicola's answer. What do you think about his remark? So it's a totally different methodology of teaching, because asking questions is the most important factor. If you have a project and you forgot to ask one question, just one, the whole project goes down, fails. Just forget one question, not answer, forget to ask one question. Therefore, we must educate. Thank you for coming. We should encourage our, thank you. We should encourage our teacher to ask questions and not to say correct, not correct, correct, not correct. No, there are more than one good answer. There are more than just one alternative to solve a problem. And if you look about the word education, the word education comes from the word educo in Latin. Do you know what is educo in Latin? Educo is to take out. Again, it's to take out. What do we do with teachers? We put in. Socrates and Plato understood that in order to teach, in order to educate, you ask questions to develop the knowledge, the know-how which you have already here, to develop it, to ask questions. Because a learning is a very, very personalized process. It's a very individual process. So encourage your student to ask questions, and don't worry if you don't know all the answers. Today we have Google, very wise, and Google can give you all the answers. What is important is to be a good mentor, to be a good tutor, to lead our students in the right way. Now where? So we talked about content, we talked about methodology, now about where. We are sitting here, and this rooms of auditorium or with lecture was done 50, 100 years ago. I would prefer that we should sit in circles together, and we should have a conversation, not just frontal teaching. We need today look at the schools, and again, I'm not generalizing, but even in my country, in our schools, and I go all over Europe, in the United States, you have corridors, you have classes, you have on the windows bars, and you have bells ringing. Start the class, stop the class. Does it remind you about something? Isn't it prisons? We should go from there outside. We should go to the open environment. We should maybe teach in a shopping center. I know that I'm a little bit revolutionary. Open spaces, nature, safari, industries. We should go to the relevant world. We should take the school outside to the world, and we should bring the outside world to the schools. And I was very, very happy yesterday that I saw how the technical and vocational teachers from the company are working together, hand in hand, with the teachers of the school. We also are encouraging our companies to let us have their engineers and technicians and come to our schools and teach. For example, the Director General of Microsoft in Israel, he is now, after 20, 30 years in high tech, he is now a teacher for grade 7 pupils in mathematics. And he's very, very happy because he's doing something meaningful and he loves it. So we encourage to have in each school about 5 teachers who are coming from industry, who are coming from business. And we train them to be teachers. And they are doing really fantastic job. Now, education is not just about subjects. And we in education could not do everything. The world of business today is talking about collective impact, about ecosystem. We cannot do by ourselves everything we want. The challenge is too big. So what you can do is to cooperate, to work together with health institutions in grade A, with social institutions, with welfare institutions, and having a better understanding of your pupils. We have to work, and we work in Israel with all the universities, with businesses, with parents, with everyone, because we must move from an ego system, ego, you know, it's I myself, to an ecosystem, to work together. For me, I can tell you it's very difficult. I want to be the best, but I am by myself. I must work with my colleagues together, not just from the educational department, but also from the business, from the university, from the social workers, because they know about my student, my pupil, not less than I know about it. And now coming to entrepreneurship and creativity and innovation. What are the survival skills for the future generation? First of all, and you'll see it in all the research done by OECD, European Union, and university will tell you the first skill which is important is critical thinking. Again, critical thinking, asking questions. And today you hear a lot. I don't have to mention Trump, President Trump. He speaks about fake news, but you have it all over the world. You have it in the media, television, social websites, everywhere. You can put there whatever you like. And we must teach our students to be critical thinking. Not everything is true. There is a lot of bad, incorrect answers. I remember when I was a child, I knew when I read a newspaper, we had journalists who give the reality, said such and such thing happened in Tel Aviv. And there were also people who wrote their opinion. And I could separate between facts and explanations, ideas of people. Today, you can't. Each journalist put its own idea, even if it is a road accident. They go back to the studio. I heard it from this journalist. They put music. You don't know about it. You watch television, there is music. They put pictures, they take out pictures, and they are the product people for you. And if you don't educate the children, if we don't teach them what happens, if we don't show them two newspapers describing the same thing, totally different, we are not doing a good job. So critical thinking is very, very, very important. Problem solving in an uncertain environment. Here I also want to say something because it happened in Barcelona, it happened in Italy, it happened in Israel, all over the world. We live in an uncertain world, but we want to protect our children. So we want them to feel safe. But at the same time, we need to educate them how to live with dilemmas, how to maintain conflicts, how to ask questions and not having answers all the time. And even for myself, it creates a real challenge to educate our children how to maintain these conflicts. Because on one way, we want to live in a peaceful world, in a safe world, but in the same time, we live in a violent, many other people, different people, I'll talk about it later. And we have to contain, we have to maintain the uncertain environment. Grit is a notion which was developed by a lady, Duckworth. I don't know if you heard about her, but she has on YouTube a very interesting lecture. She talks about perseverance, resilience, passion. Passion. You could see from the eyes if I'm an happy person, if I'm proud, if I'm prepared to put effort. And there are three words which are important for our students: motivation, motivation, motivation. And yesterday was I in a company, and I could see the eyes of the employees and the eyes of the students. They showed me they have passion. They want to learn. They want to work. They are prepared to work. I hope all my students will be the same, really, because motivation is very, very important. And one important thing, people having a lot of conferences about success stories. Tell me about your success. I will tell you about my success. You'll tell about why not, and this is not true. You can succeed only, and if only you failed. You know how many times I failed? But we have to educate our students that failures is not bad. If you rise, if you work hard, and then succeed because of your failure, then you're good. So in order to be a good entrepreneur, you must be prepared to fail. And Israel, I must tell you, is a startup nation. We have the largest number of startups, not just proportionally, but nominally, second in the world to America. We are only 8 million people, and in Israel we do have the nominal, we have more startups than any country in the world, except United States. And you know why? Because our students are prepared to fail. Don't see it as disasters. You have an examination. You failed? Okay. Study again. Put effort again. You your project doesn't work? No problem. Come back. We will try another way. And if you are prepared to fail, you will succeed if you put some effort. And you know that some countries, the students are getting a lot of stress if they fail. In Singapore, in Japan, people, if they fail, it's the end of the world. No, you may fail. It's an uncertain world. And this is very, very, very important for entrepreneurship skills. Now, a little bit about DNA education. The world moved some years ago and now to what we call DNA. DNA in health. You know that each patient should get the tablet that suits his or her DNA. In agriculture, each plant today, if you have here apple trees, today there is technology which measures for each tree, not for a field, for each tree, what is the amount of water, what is the soil, and gives him the precision, the precise amount of food. And also in banking, what I need in my banking, Nicola needs something else. And you need something else. Why not DNA in education? We started to teach mass population in the industry revolution, I told. We have many students, and we have to teach classes of 20, 30, 40. So how do you manage to make it individual, personalized education? So we developed a program. I'm not going to speak about it today, but if you come to the conference in Israel, and I invite you, please come. In March, I put there 13th and 4th of March. I put there some cards. You'll hear about DNA education. It's called holistic education. We have it in 7 cities, and this is the one. I will take all your emails with your permission and send you more information about this conference. And you'll be my personal guests, believe me. And we say that everyone, a child, a daughter, a girl, a boy, has the same rights to be different. I want to say something personal. I learn more about myself when I meet with different people. When I am at home, when I am in my school as a teacher, when I am in my office, I don't learn much from my colleagues because we know each other. But when I met yesterday with Nicola, when I met yesterday with some wonderful teachers who are here, and we talked about different things, I learned a lot. You learn about yourself much more from different people than you learn from your very homogeneous environment. And I know of some families who unfortunately had children with many difficulties, and they said that I learned from this child much more about myself than I learned from other ones. So don't look at different people. Think about them as a source of information and knowledge. We map our students, we map our teachers and principals, and then we adapt the learning and the education which suits each girl and boy. And if you come to the conference, you'll hear about it quite a lot. Now I would like to move. Maybe I will tell you something about this working. I will come back. One more sentence is about strengths and not weaknesses. I think it's quite important. That normally in our schools, if a parent comes to the school about a parent day, and the teacher speaks to the parent, he says, your student is not very good in mathematics, he's not very good in history, give him private lessons. That's what happens in Israel, in America, and so on. But he never says, or say, your student is very good in sports. Your student has got strengths in music. And I remember that with President Mandela, we established a school in Soweto, and the 2 first lessons each day, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 2 first lessons were only music, arts, drama, and sport. Why? Because the black student in Soweto, this was their strengths. This was where they find themselves meaningful, relevant. It was fantastic. And they were very happy. Because when are you happy? When you succeed. So education should start in our schools where you are good, not where you are weak, where you are good, and then to move to areas where you are weak. I remember a student who was a great failure, and the parents asked me, what is he good? What is he good? I say basketball. So in the summer camp, he played only basketball. We came back 1st of September, he became the best student in the class. Basketball, that's it. So start with strengths. It's very, very important. Now everyone is talking about STEM education. This became the popular term of the world. Obama talked about it, presidents, everyone, prime ministers, STEM. Why STEM? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. But we at Ort Israel say, no, it's not enough. We must have arts. Because even in the company, each company, it's not just about machines. It's also about design, artistic, how to make it nice, how to make it friendly to the user. And then I'll talk about innovation. So about arts, you know, in our brain, we have two lobes, two sides. The right side, the left side, sorry, it's about cognitive skills, mathematics, language, logic, speech. But the right side is the artistic side, music, arts, spatial abilities, and so on. We don't use it much, but we should combine them both. If you want to be a good engineer or a good technician, use your right brain not less than your left, together. How do you do it? You combine arts and engineering. If you do a project, not only the machine should work, but should be also a nice piece to look. Because when you market your eyes, you market your smell. Think about tomatoes, whatever you go in the market today, you look at it, you don't taste it. You look at it, you say, wow, it looks nice. When you come back home, you taste it, oh, it's not so good as I thought. So you have to, the eyes, everything should work, and you must connect these two sides. We would like Michelangelo was engineer, was an artist, was a physician, all of it together. This is a kind of engineer for the future, and be flexible. And now about innovation. As I said, innovation is not something that you were born with. You can be a very talented innovator, a very talented creator, but you can train your heart as you can train your brain. And we developed a course with Professor Daniel Shechtman, the Nobel Prize winner in 2016. He's a very good of me in the Technion University. And we developed a course, like mathematics, like English, like literature, a course for innovation. Because there are skills, there is knowledge, and there are values in this topic, in this subject, in this area. And we can teach it, we can educate it, and we can link it to STEM education. So I call it I-STEAM. It's my responsibility, It's my responsibility to be better. It's my responsibility to learn by myself the innovation. And I would like, if you can help me to put this a very short film, 6 minutes, and then we will have maybe some time for answers. It's a video. It's a video which was developed created by the European Training Foundation, European Union, a course that we developed it by ourselves, and it won the first prize in Europe. Please.
This story is about helping young people realize their own potential through entrepreneurial skills.
There is in Israel a spirit of entrepreneurship. It's the talk of the town. Young people want to become entrepreneurs.
How do you educate the generation of the future with the future knowledge, skills, and values? No one knows today what will be in the future.
The idea of ORT, and Eli Eisenberg in particular, is to teach every child in Israel entrepreneurship, like you teach mathematics, physics, chemistry, entrepreneurship, and English.
We believe that these skills are not just essential skills or knowledge for our graduates. For the 21st century, it's survival skills.
In high schools, the students choose a project, they choose a product, they do the market survey, they make a model, and in the process they register a company. So they go through the process of becoming entrepreneurs, and it is embedded in their soul.
The objectives of this program is to create an alternative studying environment. We would like the students to experience a more real-life type of learning.
One aspect that is crucial for the project to really come along is the teamwork.
They have to select the groups they're going to work with. It's a difficult choice because it dictates the people they're going to work with over the next 2 to 3 years. As a young person, that's a significant decision.
This project, I think, made us work with each other differently than we were before, communicate differently, to understand the importance of being in a group and being a part of something bigger than us.
It becomes obvious to us that it's also crucial and very important for every group to have a sort of an external mentor, someone that can give from their own experience, not only theoretically, that they can show them how it is in the real life.
When we went to other companies, we had the feeling that we are doing something real. I felt like a grown-up. I felt like it's my job. I felt like I want to do it. It's fun.
Kids are not taught everything. They are sent to explore.
It's not about coming to the class and everyone is looking to you, so you just lecture. It's not about that at all anymore. It's an interaction. Everyone learns from the interaction and we make it happen together.
Our teacher was kind of a mentor, not a teacher. Gave us instruction throughout the work, but she didn't tell us what to do. She motivated us.
With this entrepreneurship course, we are putting a lot of effort to train teachers and to put them in a situation to be leaders of teachers in order to have this ripple effect of other teachers. And after all, to have all the teachers are talking the same entrepreneurship language.
The main obstacle for entrepreneurship in the world, it is called fear of failure.
What was important for us is to encourage the students to be open and not to be afraid to try or to do things that are out of the box and to take risks, so they will be evaluated according to the process and not only the end result.
Failure, okay, start again. This is my mantra.
The impact the program has on kids can be seen really in the last stages when they approach the end of the product and they see that it was made. The product gives them this sense of autonomy.
The program is not only for being an entrepreneur or to initiate your own business. Those skills are important to be a person that initiates, that is involved, that contributes, that tells what he's seeing and feels that he can impact.
The entrepreneurship course makes the school much more relevant to the students. And therefore, when they have to study science and mathematics and engineering, they don't ask questions, why should we learn it? Because it becomes from a need.
Being an entrepreneur is a means in today's modern world to close social gaps and definitely giving an opportunity to better your life and to better the life of people around you.
You see, today, the most important natural resource of every country is human ingenuity. So the question is, can you teach entrepreneurship? My answer is yes, definitely. You can teach it, and we should teach it, like any other subject.
From this experience, I learned that I can actually fulfill my dreams, and if I have a vision or idea, I can actually make it come true.
Keep sharing your good practice.
Okay, thank you. Can you bring me back to the thank you. So this is the film which was produced by the European Training Foundation in Torino. And I just wanted to say that we as educational system are trying, that what is demand from the community, from the education department, that we have to break the correlation between what the student entered the class, the school, and when he finishes. Because we want to see that the student is doing much better than when he started the class. And now I'm going to show you a very interesting graph, including Spain, which was done by Professor Gadi Frank in Tel Aviv University. And he tried to see, it was in 2010, what is, if there is any correlation between the Gini index, you know Gini index is an economical index to measure the inequality of any society, of any country, which means what is the gap between the highest people in the country and the lowest strata. The more gap you have, the Gini index is higher. So this is the vertical graph, the vertical axis, and the horizontal one is what is the proportion of students who study TVET, Technological Vocational Education. So what you can see, if I'll try to show you, Spain is here. Let me see. Here. Can you see it? Which means you had in 2010 around 40% studying technology education, and the Gini index, which means the inequality, was about 0.32, 0.33. Israel was even higher, less proportion of students study technology, and the Gini index is more. If you look down, you see countries like Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Norway, Finland, where the proportion of TVET is about 80%, and the Gini index is low, which means better socio-economic welfare, good for the population. So you have inverse correlation, which means if you, and I encourage you, because put more effort to have more students in science and technology fields. The more you have, more employment, more socio-economical, better. And I was very pleased to hear our Minister of Education just 3 days ago, on the 1st of September, when we started our year, the learning year, the studying year, he said that we would like in 3 years to have 50%, half of the students studying technological and vocational education and training. Because we believe that people will be much more happy, will be meaningful, will be employed. Today in Israel, we have 4% unemployment. Now, what is technology? I found it in New Zealand. I think it's a very short and very good, really very good term to say creative and innovative activity, responding to needs and opportunities, responding to needs of the community, creating products, system, and environments. Very short, very clear, and I think it's a wonderful sentence about what is technology. And technology, everyone can study it. You can be a technician, or production line, maintenance. You can be an engineer. You can be research and development. So it's for every girl and for every boy can study technology. And now I would like to say thank very much to the teachers who organized this conference and made this whole event. Because Mackenzie said 5 years ago, after 250 pages, one sentence, no education system is better than the quality of its teachers. Teachers, teachers, teachers. Invest in teachers. And I was very happy to hear that the teachers here, Nicola told me and Louis told me, that they developed this whole event. So it's not just top-down, it's bottom-up. I thank you very much. I think this is what is most important. Teachers, invest in teachers. You put the hands of our children, we put them in the hands of the teachers. So what is more important than teachers? Even more than doctors, more than lawyers, more than everyone. And that's what we say. In order to do it, in Israel, I said it to the minister, I said it to everywhere in the world. Trust, trust, trust. We do fail, no problem. But trust your teachers, trust your principal, trust your parents and listen to them. Not just hearing them, listen. Understand what they are saying, because that's what this person is doing when he goes to the production floor, and listen to his employees. Listen to your students, listen to the parents, empower them, be transparent, no problem, and also accountability. And I would like to finish by really thanking you for the opportunity of sharing. And why do I say it? In Israel, we have 2 lakes. Anybody was in Israel? No, so please come. In Israel, we have 2 lakes. You are Christian people, most of you must come. The lake in the north is the Lake of Galilee, where Jesus Christ walked on the water. The Lake of Galilee is full of trees, it's full of water, it's full of flowers, birds, animals. It's a live lake. On the other side, we have the Dead Sea, the lowest part in the world, minus 492 meters below sea level. Dead Sea is dead. No flower, no trees, no fish, nothing. And both of them are being fed by the same river. What's the name of the river? Jordan, the same river. So one is live, the other one is dead. Why? Because the Lake of Galilee has an input and an output. It shares. The Dead Sea has only an input, no output. It doesn't share. So if you want to be a live person, share your knowledge, share your know-how with many other people. And therefore, I'm very thankful for you for inviting me to come here and to share with you all my ideas. I thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Molt bé. Moltíssimes gràcies, Dr. Eisenberg. Thank you very much for your letter. Ell està disposat a obrir una ronda de preguntes. Pel temps hauria de ser una breu ronda. Algú vol fer alguna qüestió, alguna pregunta? Ell està disposat a contestar el que volguéssiu. Ha estat força clar i nítid. No hi ha cap qüestió? Cap pregunta? Algun aclariment en relació amb el que acaba d'explicar? El grup ICE disposa del PowerPoint que farem arribar a totes les persones inscrites, d'acord? A través de... Quan us heu matriculat, el que heu llegit, deixat el correu electrònic i si no, contacteu amb l'equip. Per tant, ho tenim en anglès i també ho tenim traduït al català. D'acord? Doncs, si no hi ha cap pregunta, continuem el programa. Una pregunta, one question. How many people are in your classroom?
On average, yes. In our network, we serve, I didn't say it a lot, but we serve all the populations in Israel. Muslims, Christians, Bedouins, Jewish, everyone. But and the average is about 20, 25, 30. Depends on the community. For example, in Arab schools, it will be more pupils. In Jewish schools, it will be less students. So it depends. There are also classes of girls only or boys only. In some of the communities, we must have it. But on average, I would say it's about 25 pupils per class. I want to say that according to research, there is not much different if it's 20, 25. But if it's 40, it's really a very, very, very high number of students. It's very difficult for the teacher to educate in such amount of number. I agree with you.
Alguna altra pregunta? Doncs, arribat a aquest punt, el senyor Oriol Oró li vol entregar un regal en nom de totes les persones que estem aquí. Mr. Oró, want to deliver a present for you for thanks your class.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a birthday present for sharing with us your knowledge and your humanity.
Thank you very much.
And this is a drawing of one of the most important painters here in Lleida.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.